and welcome to episode 1 of the Process Improvement Practitioner Show. Thank you for finding this show. If you lead, champion, or drive change in your professional life, this is the podcast for you. In this episode, I'm going to cover 5 things. What is process improvement? Who am I and who are you? That'll be fun. What kinds of problems will we be solving? Why, quote unquote, process should be your unit of measure for your change initiatives, and what kinds of subjects we'll be covering in the future. Fundamentally, we're here to discuss how to solve business problems through change. This work comes with many names: business process improvement, business process management, operational excellence, process excellence, continuous improvement, continuous quality improvement, continuous process improvement, performance improvement, quality management system, process optimization, quality control. Then we have methodologies, and you've probably heard of some of these. Toyota Production System, or TPS, Lean Six Sigma, Lean Six Sigma, TQM, ISO 9000, for you technology people, CMM. Japanese terms like Kaizen come up as well. Companies now even come up with their own names, like quality and productivity or mousetrap. And of course, now everything is agile. Any business function that comes with this level of word salad cannot be clear to anybody. It feels like we're just moving around words around on a vision board at this point, so you could understand why people would be skeptical about this whole world, which no doubt leads to rebranding, which leads to another mixture of the same words on top of the pile. The purpose of this podcast is not only to help us all make sense of what all of this means, but more importantly, help you to make tangible improvements in your organization. Satisfy more internal and external customers, improve delivery, and reduce time, cost, and risk. For now, we'll use the term process improvement, but be aware that it is largely synonymous with that word salad I just shared. I will also occasionally use the terms change management and change leadership. So who am I? I've spent my career leading change in many different types of organizations, with over 15 years as a full-time internal consultant, trained in multiple methodologies. I've coached everyone from the boardroom to the break room, and I've helped teams make meaningful improvements in their work. My career spanned across many disciplines, and that has made me really notice the common threads that exist no matter what industry, function, or organizational size. I look forward to sharing those insights with you. Let me note, although this information is applicable to all, my bias is towards Lean Six Sigma for transactional digital distribution environments versus manufacturing, and that's just based on my personal experience. But I promise all of this content will be valuable to you all and will not require any previous training. So who are you? You are a change leader. You're either practicing or you're aspirational. You're either in a full-time project or change leadership role, or you have process improvement leadership responsibilities. You are in a role where you are trying to drive change in any capacity. Maybe you are a doer or you are a process owner. Maybe you belong to one of the organizations I rattled off earlier. You may be a leader who is struggling with encouraging your team to improve your processes. So next, what kinds of problems are we going to solve? Perhaps some of these might resonate with you. The billing department is a disaster, reliant on tribal institutional knowledge with no measurement and no resiliency or no scalability. How about this one? Customers are waiting too long for their online checking account applications to be fulfilled, so they are going into branches or to competitors. You have been given a goal to remove $400,000 in type 1 cost. It's real cost reduction, comes right off the budget. You've been tasked to remove $400,000 in type 1 cost for this year so you can achieve the plan. You have a few ideas, but the fiscal year just started 2 months ago, so now you only have 10 months left. Maybe you have workers that are leaving. We can't retain talent. And so while we invest all this time and effort into process improvement, we see with the talent, all that goes out the door with them, and the replacements are bringing in all the inefficient processes and practices that we just eliminated. The warehouse loading dock is filled with weeks and weeks of unreceived inventory, like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Imagine that. Unhappy sales executives are picking through hundreds of pallets looking for the special items, the rush items that are intended for customers who are by now very angry. And you may be able to tell from the specifics that these are actual situations I've been in. These challenges and 1,000 more like them are in our discussion domain. So why focus on quote unquote process? Of all the business buzzwords, process is not flashy, but it is the noun that says it all. Process will be the primary focus on our journey. Why is that? Processes satisfy the customer needs, internal and external. Value is always delivered via a process. Buying a car is a process. Grocery shopping is a process. Stocking cars and groceries are definitely processes. In your career, you may have heard in the past process discussed alongside people and technology. People, process, and technology make up our value delivery system. In the context of change or project management, we talk a lot about these three domains, but people alone cannot deliver value, neither can technology. Without the guiding hand of a process, people and technology are idled. But a process can deliver value without people and without technology, whether it's Google Travel helping me pick a vacation destination or a Boy Scout car wash getting my car clean. So, process must be our focus. So, in terms of the organization of the podcast going forward, instead of following a linear approach where I will instead try to intersperse topics, I'll make sure you can easily search for categories. My goal is to keep it interesting while essentially jumping around in the book a bit. Right now I see discussions on the following topics. 1, process improvement. What is it and why does it matter today, even in a world of rapid technological change? 2, process improvement models. There are many models and most of them really don't matter. They get sold to companies and executives and later discredited unfairly. We will talk about what really matters. 3, the process improvement leader's state of mind. What are the traits of a successful change leader? What is the mindset of success for this job? And what are the derailers? 4, stakeholders. We have to talk about the players before we teach the game. Your success is going to be very dependent on these people. Project champion. Every project you work on needs to have a champion or a sponsor, and their support will enable the project to succeed. His or her lack of support will guarantee you failure. Process improvement buzzwords. If you learn nothing else, you too can at least impress people with these. There's some tools in here though too. The certification game. This is specific to the Lean Six Sigma world because that's what I know. So we're going to talk honestly about certification. We're talking green belt, black belt, master black belt, etc. What is it? Do you need it? How do you get it? And what does it do for you? Tools, all about tools. We will take a high-level flight over some of the most important process improvement tools. The right tools add an awful lot of value fast. But the wrong tools waste time and lose precious support. You must choose the right tools. It's critical. We'll do a tool deep dive. So, some tools are so important and so key that we're really going to get into the details. And these are for my folks who really love control charts and the FMEA, failure modes effect analysis. I promise to spend time on how to do the tools, less time on how to do the tools because you can get that from a class, but really spend more time on why to do the tools, and what value you get from those tools. We'll look at a day in the life. We'll talk about some of the topics that will come up in your day-to-day life. The idea is now that you know enough to be dangerous, I want you to get out there and make a difference. We'll go into process improvement as a career. Maybe you're having fun doing this. Do you want to do it full time? There are some pros and cons to consider before you make that jump. Some of the key concepts. We'll dig into some of them. And these are not buzzwords and these are not tools. It's kind of a second course of light indoctrination. Some examples of key concepts are Poka-yoke and 5S. We'll talk about process excellence. And I like to focus on process as our unit of measure. And this will be a mini series on the process excellence methodology, which really isn't talked about quite a bit. It was very big in a previous employer I had. We'll also talk about some of the key tools from Lean Six Sigma in the context of the process excellence methodology. We'll talk digital transformation. Many of you are leading these types of efforts. What are the overlaps between digital transformation and process improvement? After all, change is change. Product management and process improvement. There's actually lots of overlap here to discuss as well. Products and processes have so much in common. For example, both deliver value to a customer. Prepare to have your mind blown. And finally, case studies. Well, we'll put some of these tools and techniques into practice with some real-world examples. So, just in conclusion, I'd say, to be a process improvement change leader is to be a bit of a wizard. In fact, maybe you're a young Harry Potter getting onto a mystical train off to Hogwarts. You're going to drink the Kool-Aid. You cross over into a new world where you will begin to see the world differently. As part of this journey, you will meet others in this tribe, people who are like you. You will learn our shared values. You will learn our enemy. But instead of something straightforward like Voldemort, it will be simply the myriad of barriers that you're going to encounter in your work. You will learn your craft and deploy your craft. Just like a book of spells, I hope to arm you with a bag of tools and techniques. I definitely hope you will join me for this journey. Thanks very much. Onward and upward.